Hi, my name is Karan Bulani. I'm the director of a film called Thank You for Coming. It's the first time here at TIFF and my first film. What can we expect? The story is about a girl who's 32 years old and never had an orgasm. And she wakes up on the night of her engagement, on the morning of the engagement, and discovers that she's had her first orgasm, but she can't remember with who. So I guess you're going to expect a lot of laughs. It came up actually, my writer Radhika, who's back in India, she pitched this one line to me, and my wife, who's the producer, got together with the writer and kind of started creating scenarios from their own life and their own experiences and all their single friends. And my job was to kind of stay out of it at the writing stage because it's hard for me as a man to interfere in this process. Navigating the world of women, I thought I knew about women, but I then made this film and I realized a lot more. um, while writing, it was really important for me to make sure that I wasn't interfering, but rather protecting the process, and making sure that that they felt comfortable talking about stuff that they naturally wouldn't talk about. And because my writers, my producer, they're both very self-aware and in touch with their emotions, and I just wanted to make sure that we got some really honest stuff in there. My leading lady is Bhumi Pednekar. She's a famous actor in India, and I knew. I mean, again, she's another girl who I find again very self-aware and in touch with her emotions, and has some guts, to take a film like this on. Everyone's nervous about the premise and subject, but I think that's what excites us. That we get to, for me to go and to kind of, I mean, the idea for me is to just take a risk always to find a subject, a story that I know nothing about, and then kind of go through it and find a way to show the world my experience. I think India has women are very forward thinking. Our society has always supported women. Sex is a taboo in education perspective, and that's changing. We're slowly bringing sex education into school, um, and a lot of what you gain from information and ideas is from Western films. So I'm hoping that this film will change that and kind of give them what it is like at home. I mean, I'm a huge Mike Nichols fan, right? So Birdcage is always a massive influence for me. Um Moonlight with Cher. Um, there's an Indian film called Queen, which is a big influence for me, and Bridget Jones. How can we ever forget? I mean, I find the situation comedy. I think uh, any comedy is born out of a one line that is funny. Uh, you're right. It's this really thin line between sleaze and tease that you have to balance constantly, and you kind of cast everybody from your cinematographer all the way down to a character who has probably just one word or one line, has to kind of walk that fine balance with you, and just a little bit here and there could to deter you. The difficulties are that it is so funny in your head, but when you see it sometimes it isn't as funny, and I think you just got to be honest with yourself on set, that is this funny, is it working? And if you surround yourself uh, with people, like-minded people who laugh at the same jokes, then you know where you have somebody to fall back on always. And it's hard. I think it's like the hardest business, making somebody laugh, because and this is something that we don't use tricks with. It's just walking into a party and meeting the guy that makes you laugh. The casting for this movie is we everything was based out of experiences, real experiences, based on our friends, and can't take names because it'll shock a lot of people that have used their experiences. But they've seen the film and they love the film. Uh, and when we were casting, we were trying to make sure that we found actors who could make these experiences familiar to them, and not necessarily have a relationship on screen which we already may have had with them on screen, but somewhere where I felt that okay, this person has done this kind of shameful stuff and is okay with it. If someone comes up with better than what we've come up with, Sure. It just depends what makes you laugh on the day, what drives the story forward, and uh, that isn't too indulgent, because comedy is light and it's instinctive. It's an attempt. I think it's hard to keep somebody engaged for so long now, considering we're actually not really competing with films anymore. We're competing with Instagram, which is like instinctive, and stories are so quick over there. So it does theatrical releases on the 6th of October in India, actually worldwide, and we're here at TIFF to get a see to audiences before that. The audience is every girl. I think it's every girl's story, and we are going to try to reach as many as possible. We've had one press and industry screening on the 7th. We have our world premiere on the 15th and 16th, and we'll probably do a few screenings in India before the release. We did a lot of test screenings. The the one where I felt okay, we've got something is when I called all my wife's single friends and made them see the film, and they came out saying, "That's my life, that's me," and I love it. I think it's really important for people. I mean, it's important that everybody uh, feels loved and accepted, and especially by themselves. And so that's the message that the film gives, and I hope people have a laugh while taking that in.